It's time for the main event. It's the Shoe Shine.
¿Qué onda, vatos locos? It's your boy Dave from the 408 coming to you all the way from my podcast studio in San Jose, Califas for another edition of the Shoe Shine. Monday nights where friends from around the world get together to talk about the sweet science. Joining me always for that water cooler talk is my homeboy all the way from the city of brotherly love and fresh from the Jersey Shore, I may add. Philly Irish, Drew Evo. Damn, Drew, did you get a tan or what?
I guess.
I don't know. Is it my camera or did Drew get a little bit of color here?
I don't know. I guess I got color.
I drew a different pigment tonight for the Shoe Shine. Hot August nights editions. Saludos to everybody just joining us in the room. A very special thank you to everyone who's subscribed lately. Let me shout out who just joined us already. Sin City Syndicate is in the house. Anali Jaramillo. Chicano Prophet JC. Bella Bling is here. Cry Eagles Cry, says JC. Oh man, Drew, everybody is wondering. I got people asking me if Drew Evo was talking to some spicy mamacitas on the Jersey Shore or maybe some nice Italian girls or what was happening. If y'all want to find out what Drew did, you guys can call in. This is an interactive show at 702-710-3627. I want to get to all those good stories, Drew, but I knew I want to say this. Thank you to all our new subs, guys. We're just a few shy of 400. At this point, I'd be happy if the Shoe Shine gets 500 subs by the end of the summer. So let me give a shout out to those people who just subbed. Hamed, Steve Salas, I am Dwayne this time, Aldo Z, Fabrice Selfie, Luis Hanche, Cesar Nava, gracias for joining us. Thank you for joining the Shoe Shine. All right, it was a great weekend of boxing, Drew. There was some fuckery in the sport of boxing. I mean, I don't even want to talk about this, but did you know that this Mickey Bay, who used to be like part of Team Mayweather, was going to fight former champ Tevin Farmer? It was so low budget, I hear. The fight was a $30 pay-per-view. I would never pay to see these guys fight, period. All right? No offense. And somehow it was so bad that they looked into the ring and realized we ain't got the money to pay these guys and we don't even have enough to cover the gate. I mean, it was a hot mess, Drew. Apparently they stopped halfway through and the fighters had to go on Instagram and say they're sorry and go call your credit card companies and see if you could get your $30 back. But this is a big deal because this week on the download, we've all been talking about being boxing fans, that you got to pay for it so much, that we come out so much out of pocket. Have you seen your DAZN bill, Drew? Do you know how much that shit's going up to?
Nope.
Have you seen have you seen your ESPN Plus notification telling you how much ESPN Plus is going up?
I don't subscribe to ESPN Plus anymore.
Then my mama tells me, I call my mom, I'm like, Mom, there's fights. She's like, do you know I don't even have Showtime? I'm like, my mom doesn't even have Showtime anymore. What's happening to the sport of boxing when you got to pay so much money out of pocket just to follow the sport? I'm for reals, low key, I'm pissed off about that. From pay-per-views galore. Thank God that this weekend there was free fights. If you have basic cable, you could see Teofimo Lopez and Xander Zayas. I mean, there was an opportunity to see something for free. Now, I want to get to that in a moment, but I want to know if Teofimo Lopez is fan-friendly free TV, because that's how he built his career. Teofimo Lopez debuted at 140 pounds. Let's get into something fun real quick, guys. Hello to everyone coming in the room just now. Mom Food, planning things. Thank you so much. Sarah H., I see you in the house. Drew, you ain't told us if you met some ladies, so somebody was asking me about this because, on September 10th, two of the premier female boxing champions will be fighting, Drew. And I'm not talking about Savannah Marshall and the one that calls herself the greatest boxer of all time, because really, who cares about that? People are asking me if Drew Evo is team Alicia Baumgartner, or if he is team Michaela Mayer, September 10th. These two women are going to be unifying their titles. It's not on free TV. I think it's going to be on the Zone. Now, once again, Michaela Mayer, who is in our intro. Yeah, I got to meet her recently. Or Alicia Baumgartner. One or two fellas, ladies, if you're in the chat, tell me who you think Drew's flavor is right here. Because, we're going to have to pick sides as this fight comes close, man. This is going to be a hell of a women's ladies fight. 2 champions, unifying titles. And we are going to have to pick sides. Is Drew Evo, Alicia Baumgartner, Team Alicia, or Team Michaela Mayer? I got my own opinion. I'm waiting. Drew, which one is it?
They're not going to find out yet.
You're not going to find out. You're going to make us all wait. JC says, sheesh.
Yes, unless one of them hits me up.
Listen, you're going to have to pick sides because these ladies are doing a good job to me. They're doing a very good job of selling this fight. Here is Michaela Mayer saying, me, when Bum Bum starts running her mouth. Imagine boxing since you were 8 and not accomplishing shit until you're 27. Crying out loud, face. I had my first boxing fight at 18, and my resume schools her. Girl can talk all she wants, but truth is, she was bullshitting while I was hustling. #levels. There you have it. Michaela Mayer is actually really sweet, but you know what? She's talking some good game on Twitter and social media, Drew. You're going to make me wait. Are you anticipating this fight a little bit?
A little bit, yeah.
He says just a little bit. Hey, man, it's hot August nights. It's been kind of hot. It's been kind of sweltering. Let's get on to the main event. Guys, the main event of the weekend. Of course, we saw Xander Zayas, the young Puerto Rican sensation. He's only 19 years old. We talked about him a little bit last week. He's managed by Peter Kahn. And thank you very much to Andy Vences. Again, a big shout out to Andy Vences for joining us last week. Big shout out to him. Drew, are you pleased with Xander Zayas' development on free TV?
Yes, I am.
Okay, good.
Yes, I am.
He's fan-friendly TV. Again, we're talking about this fight on ESPN last Saturday. It was free for anybody who's interested in the sport of boxing. That's my kind of boxing. He's fan-friendly TV. He's only 19. Any complaints about how he is developing as a fighter? He had a nice little knockout there. No? Any complaints?
It was a nice knockout. Like, I really don't have any complaints, but like, is it time to raise the competition up? Maybe.
You know what? I think I'm going to have to agree with you there. I'm very pleased with how Xander Zayas is being developed by Top Rank out of Las Vegas. And again, this fight was at Resorts World International Resorts, or whatever they call it, on the Las Vegas Strip. I wish I was there, Drew. Everybody was there. I get so much FOMO as I see all the press in the lobby of Resorts World Thursday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, the weigh-ins. I get so much FOMO. It's crazy. I wish I was there. I think the kid is ready for 10 rounds. Seriously. I'm like, let's do it. By the end of December, Xander Zayas should be fighting in 10-round fights. He is a fan-friendly attraction. You know, he missed that last fight with Kambosos because he got some kind of illness, which I think was probably COVID-related illness in Australia. But here he is, performed excellent, and he's ready for 10-rounders. But what everybody really wants to know, Drew, is now we have a clear picture of Teofimo Lopez, who lost all his titles, kind of refuses to admit that he was defeated, and is now a full 140-pound fighter. What do you think of the fact he came in at 138?
That, you know, he can't make 135, supposedly, and he's under 140. So, you know, maybe he'll grow into 140 eventually. Because, you know, normally guys that just move up, normally you weigh under the weight limit the first couple fights into the new division. But I don't see nothing with him weighing 2 pounds less than 140.
Yeah, a little bit shy of the weight limit. Hey, a big hello and shout out to Deep Styles Boxing. I was just on there earlier. He had a fantastic interview with Rayo Valenzuela, 135-pound PBC contender. This is a kid who's special, a hard-hitting southpaw who's going to be fighting in September. Drew, I got to be on there on that panel with the Milk Car and D-Styles, and it was a great interview. But El Rayo Valenzuela, who's not here today, he knocked out Teofimo Lopez supposedly in sparring. Like, it happened. It's very well documented that he knocked him out. Apparently, the second time they went at it, Teofimo only wanted 4 rounds. There's some bad blood between those two guys. El Rayo's still fighting at 135, but I asked him straight up if he wants that, if he thinks that fight would be a possibility, if he'd be interested as professionals now, not just sparring. And he said, yeah, of course. There's a lot of people that want Teofimo Lopez. Most importantly of all is Oscar De La Hoya and Ryan Garcia. Who wore it better? We just saw Ryan Garcia fight at 140 pounds, Drew. We just saw him fight. All right? We have to compare them. Oscar De La Hoya says he's friendly. He's friendly with Teo, that Teo DM'd him, invited him. Is this fight going to happen? Are we going to see, we're not going to see Tank Davis this year versus Ryan Garcia. Why is Oscar De La Hoya at Resorts World on Saturday sitting front side? Is it because Teofimo bought him the ticket? Is it because Bob gifted him a ticket?
I don't think the fight's going to happen. People need to not think this fight's going to happen because there's going to be a lot of conflicts. Bob's going to want line over ESPN. Oscar's going to want Teo over DAZN. It's not going to happen. It's the same reason why Haney versus Lomachenko didn't happen. Because they want each other coming in their other networks.
I think this is a great fight. A great fight for both of these guys. Okay, there's a lot of flaws that are still obvious to me at 140 pounds, but they're two of the biggest stars in their division. Or 2 years ago they were calling themselves the 4 kings of the lightweight division. There was 4 guys. There was Tank, there was Ryan, there was Haney, and there was Teofimo, and now 2 of them have moved up to 140. Oscar's there because he's looking for a dance partner for Ryan Garcia. But Drew, this was kind of shocking. On social media, I saw that Teofimo Lopez purchased somewhere between $25,000 and $50,000 in tickets. Now, the fight was sold out, but how much of those were because Teofimo Lopez bought them? My wife heard it. I heard it. There was people screaming for Teofimo. He purchased tickets. Did he purchase it for Oscar? Why is that a big deal? Because Oscar knows that Ryan Garcia can sell tickets in Los Angeles. He is a big gate seller. Ryan Garcia can sell tickets. He can put kids in the stands, whether they're just Instagram or TikTok fans. Who gives a shit? They're paying for tickets. Now, if Teofimo has to buy people tickets to see him fight, it's not a good point for negotiation. Already, I can see the negotiation going south because I don't think Teofimo ever thinks of himself as the B-side. He did legitimately win 3 titles at 135 pounds, just came shy of being undisputed. Even though he was sitting there with Canelo and his 4 belts, that he was undisputed. You don't have any good faith that this fight could happen either, huh?
No, it's not. And I don't care if Grandpa Bob was on record saying it. The reason why this fight doesn't get made is because network bullshit. So I don't care if they say they're open for the fight to happen. They're only open to it if Ryan goes to ESPN. So I could care less what the fuck Grandpa Bob's got to say.
Wow. Hey, there's a lot. We're going to talk about this, but this week is in boxing news. Some of you guys may be familiar. Some of you who are casual fans of the sport may already know who Adrian Broner is, but this is Adrian Broner Fight Week, and we've got some big news developing around him and Showtime's card on Saturday night, and that's the fact that Adrian Broner is pulling out of the 140 pound, his fight this Saturday, much to the dismay of Figueroa. But Drew, Teofimo legitimately had reasons to have mental health issues, man. He was married and divorced. All like in the span of his loss around the Cambosos fight, okay? Do you think he's now in the right mind frame? Do you think he's past the divorce?
No. Like, tell you the truth, he didn't look that good Saturday night when he KO'd Ciampa, well, his name is. He didn't look too good, spectacular like that, man. And I'll tell you the truth, I'm not the only one that said it, too. Even fucking Eric said it also. I agree with them. You think he looks spectacular, you got a fucking issue and everything. If he looked good, he didn't look too good. He looked a little bit like the Cambosos fight. He's not going to beat nobody at 140 like that. No top fighter. Champ was a fucking pushover.
You know, I'm surprised that for once, I believe I was agreeing with Mike Coppinger of ESPN, who the day after wrote a piece on Teofimo's performance. You know, Mike Coppinger of ESPN, naturally, he's going to write the big story, but he wasn't that impressed either. And there was actually quite a bit of people that weren't impressed. Most importantly is Regis Prograis, who will be fighting for one of those vacant belt opportunities coming up. Regis Prograis says that he doesn't have a chance against any of those top 5 fighters. But give me the breakdown why, Drew, because I have my own reasons why. I think my opinion is that Teofimo Lopez is naturally, he deserves a spot in the top 10 rankings at 140 pounds by virtue of what he's done. He put on a solid performance in my books this Saturday. A solid, right? I'm not giving him an A. Far from an A. He definitely, the ring rust was there. He still shows that even a slow fighter like Campa, a C-level fighter, Campa, maybe a club-level fighter in Mexico with a decent record on paper, slow as molasses, was able to touch him. All right? Was that just the ring rust? I don't know. But once Teofimo gets into rhythm, he's quite the showman. And he's able to get the crowd noise and crowd reaction. And he seems to do fairly well putting on a show in front of regular TV audiences and able to close the show when it was appropriate and less than 12 rounds. So I give Teofimo Lopez about a B for his performance on Saturday night. But do I agree with Regis Prograis? Yeah, I don't think that Teofimo Lopez is ready to crack the top 5. And that's why I think, you know what? Arnold Barboza had every right to be there. Arnold Barboza Jr. has every right to be there because he naturally deserves a fight against Teofimo Lopez in December. He wants it at Madison Square Garden after the Heisman Trophy Award is given out. That's my pick for his opponent this December. I don't think that they can close the gap in negotiations between him and Ryan by the end of the year. But in the future, I think it's a great fight. Let me know what you guys think, man. Do you think that Arnold Barboza Jr. is a good fit for Teofimo Lopez as his next opponent? Because I don't see Ryan Garcia fight happening this year, even though it would be, to me, it'd be a mega fight between 2 young stars.
I think it's a good fight, the Barboza fight. I don't think this Ryan Garcia fight is going to happen. I think people need to stop dreaming about it and everything, but, like, I don't think he beats Regis Prograis. I don't think he beats Josh Taylor. Jose Ramirez is a 50-50 fight. I just don't think that he beats the upper echelon of this division. He fighting like he did Saturday, he does not beat them. And his power, like they say in the chat, does not show, hasn't shown at 140 yet and everything. Like him doing that showboating, he didn't do it against Kambosos. He damn sure didn't do it against Lomachenko. He only does it against lesser opposition that he knows he can beat.
All right, it's fair to say you're not a fan of the showboating.
I'm a fan of it, but if you're going to do it against the top guys.
I hear you.
Too. Like, you're not doing it against the top guys. Why the fuck am I supposed to look at that, man? He beat 7-5, man. You feel it's not a close fight, you're a fucking idiot. I'm sorry. Anybody think he looked good Saturday is delusional and is a fucking idiot.
Jeez.
I'm sorry. I'm
harsh.
just putting out facts here. He just did not look that good to me. He got the knockout, but I don't know if you can credit ring rust. He still can't take that he lost. He still doesn't accept the loss to Kambosos and everything, which he clearly lost. So what's the point? What's the point? Like seriously, everybody's gonna be like this. But he beat Loma. He beat Loma. Is that all you motherfuckers are gonna say? But he beat Loma. But he lost to a guy he should have knocked the fuck out inside 5 rounds, and the guy wound up whooping his fucking ass. So
you
what's
talking
the
about
fucking
Kambosos?
Yeah.
All right, guys, the phone line is open. If you've got a rebuttal to Drew Evo and you'd like to give him a rebuttal, feel free. I have to point out this comment. I know we haven't got to Adrian Broner yet, but who said this? This was hilarious. Behind the Rope says, who said AB doesn't pull out? Yeah, I don't think he has very good that kind of pull-out game. That's not very good. All right. Well, we stand to disagree here, Drew, because I think Teofimo Lopez, for being on free TV, I think it's healthy. Matching him up with Xander. By the way, they've known each other since they were in the young amateurs. At one point, Xander was much, much smaller than Teofimo. I always like to see those old pictures of them as amateurs. I think he's fan-friendly TV. I'm going to give him a solid B for Saturday night. A lot of ring rust. His dad seemed to be kind of muted, which was kind of good, except for the celebratory, dance afterwards. But that's kind of expected of Teo's dad. I'm going to see. I'm glad he's talking about being back in the ring in December, but it's going to have to be against stepped-up competition, Drew, and two guys that you just brought up, then I brought up Arnold Barboza Jr. or Ramirez. Now, Ramirez says he's going to get the winner of the Regis Prograis fight with Zepeda, and I don't know when that fight's going to happen. But that if he can pass
next year,
if he can pass Jose Ramirez in December, if Jose Ramirez wants that fight and he could beat that guy, then I have to shut up, because then I have to seriously say that Teofimo Lopez is a actual contender at 140 pounds. If he can get past,
win.
If he can get past a former world champion, exactly. Anybody who gets past a recent former world champion like that, unified world champion, is doing all right in my book, which is far more than what Ryan Garcia is doing. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, thanks everyone. If you guys want to call in, this is great, Drew. D-Style says Pedraza, though. Pedraza's not a bad quality opponent either. I have seen people saying, how about a fight with Pedraza in New York? That would actually sell pretty well. That's another quality opponent if Teofimo and Test, if he can get past that guy. So again, who wore it better at 140 pounds? Were you more impressed by Ryan Garcia's win over a tiny little former featherweight, or were you more impressed with Teofimo Lopez against an unknown Mexican fighter? I really thought this guy Campa was going to do more, but I could see how limited his skill set. His skill set was very limited, very slow, but even then he was able to rally here and there when Teofimo looked to be getting gas. So we will see how this plays out. What's up, Drew?
I kind of, be honest with you, with accomplishments, you have to give it to Ryan beating Fortuna and everything. Like, Champus was like a club fighter. They just got off the streets of Tijuana, where he's from, and said, yo, want to make a good lot of money for, see if you can last at least 7 rounds? How it is, man.
Mm-hmm.
That's all it was. Fortuna is accomplished, even though they got him moved up. He was really a 130-pound fighter at the end. Who the hell heard of this Compass dude?
All right, let's get on to the next one, to the next topic, because Saturday night was supposed to be the return of Adrian Broner. Did you forget Adrian Broner still fights professionally? Showtime had him up against a former world champion at 140 pounds in Figueroa. Figueroa is pissed, man. He is just so pissed off. And you know what? Shout out to Sergey Lipinets, who fought Boots Ennis, because Sergey Lipinets, I guess, with a few days' notice? Or I don't know what kind of notice he got, but he said he's down to fight. He's going to show up and be in this main event. Lipinets, also a former champ at 140 pounds. But Adrian Broner, man, he had a statement. Look, mental health is a real legit thing. He made a couple of statements. Adrian Broner posting on his Instagram, man, I'm going through a lot at this moment in my life, but I ain't going to give up. I set some more goals, and I ain't stopping until I finish what I started. But sorry to say, I'm not fighting, hashtag August 20th. Okay, then he went on to say some more stuff. Get a little bit more in deep. Sorry to all my fans, hashtag mental health is real, and I'm not about to play inside the ring. I've watched a lot of people die playing with a boxing career, and that is something I won't do. Just pray for me. I love the sport of boxing too much not to give my all. And I feel like I came up short before because my mind wasn't 100% there, and I'd be damned if I make that mistake again. I need to make some changes for the better instead of worrying about other people's feelings and pleasing them, when in all reality, I have nothing to prove to nobody. I'm a 4-time world champion in 4 different weight classes, and if I never lace up a pair of gloves again, I feel it's safe to say I will be inducted into the hashtag Boxing Hall of Fame.
Don't know about that.
Figueroa is pissed, man. He's not accepting it because Figueroa says that he's got his own issues too, man. As we all know, my fight against that motherfucker Broner's off now. I don't mind because this is something we expected, so we had plans in motion to mitigate most of the aftermath. What really pisses me off is that now this motherfucker wants to use the hashtag mental health as a fucking excuse that I have a problem, because that's BS. You don't get to cry hashtag mental health. Now, I don't even want to say the words, but MF, not saying you don't suffer from mental health issues, as we can all tell you do. Just don't give it as an excuse now after you've been undisciplined and not taking this fight training camp seriously. It is really mental health. Please show us the proof that you went and sought out professional help. Damn. Should you have to prove that you're legit mentally ill and show, like, I know that there's laws in this country that govern people's privacy medically, called HEPA laws and whatnot. But he wants proof, man. He's like, show me that you're freaking going to a psychotherapist, a psychiatrist, a counselor. Show me some proof instead of just using it at 1 week's notice. Drew, did he just basically capitalize on the success Ryan Garcia had last year when he used mental health to pull out of that Fortuna fight? Is that all Adrian Broner's doing? Or is he really, can we just assume based on his actions in public that he does have issues?
I think he somewhat has issues. Like, tell you the truth, he told Al Heyman that for his last fight, if you gotta keep me in the ring. You gotta get me more fights to, keep me in check and everything. Like, he was on the right track. Like, to put him in the position that he's in, I believe he has mental problems. Like being broke and everything. That does a lot to you, from having money to being broke, being all stressed out. Like, at the end of the day, man, it's fully fucked up how you could question it. Like, is he out fucking doing what Ryan Garcia did?
Mm-hmm.
Taking pictures with a girl and everything, being in commercials? No. That's how you could that's why I question Ryan Garcia's mental health. He hasn't done none of that. So, he fucking, I can't really question, his mental health. He might do have some problems, man.
I mean, it's fair to say his behavior kind of alludes that he does have issues going on, and you have to be 100% mentally fit to go into the ring Saturday. I think the problem, and Figueroa has a legitimate complaint, is that it's coming so last minute. And there was already signs starting to crack and show a few weeks ago when they had this press conference. I believe Brian Custer had a press conference, and Adrian Broner walked off the virtual press conference because he said he never did no fucking Zoom press conferences. He said, with Floyd and Al, I never had to do this, and now I'm treated like bum. Like making me do a press conference on the computer. He was really pissed off about that. They had to reschedule it. It was a problem. Not only was it a problem, all of a sudden, if you guys didn't know, he's actually out calling in the media saying that Floyd hates me. He loves everybody else. He'll give a payday to Conor McGregor, but he won't hook me up and fight me in an exhibition so I could be financially secure. He's actually calling to fight Floyd. Can you hook me up? If I'm your little brother, just let me have an exhibition so I don't have to actually fight, so we could just play in the ring and spar and get paid $100 million. He thinks he was going to get paid $100 million for sparring Floyd in an exhibition, Drew. That's what he really wants to do. He don't really want to fight and get in training camps and go through with a whole camp and then actually fight somebody who probably Figueroa, for all we know, was going to outbox him, outbeat him, outslug him. I think Figueroa was going to take this one, personally. Now it just remains to be seen what kind of performance Sergey Lipin gets. Figueroa isn't exactly on a great winning streak, but I don't know, man. Let me know what y'all think. Is Adrian Broner all cap about mental health issues? I think for a long time it's been really evident that he's got problems, and maybe he's just not cut out for the sport anymore at the elite levels. It's shown in his performance, in his last performance at Showtime. He didn't even win that fight against some guy, I can't remember his name. To be honest, he got another free pass. Just like he got a free pass against Paulie Malignaggi years back on that title. But
I've been like, it is what it is. He's not fighting, and they replaced him. Lipinets stepped up, so thank God this wasn't a pay-per-view fight. But the only thing he can do is wish that he's okay. and he gets well soon. And if he fights again, he fights again. If he doesn't, he's not a Hall of Famer, but he had a good career for as long as it lasts and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Just a bad ending to it, but he tell you the truth, he's going to be known as a guy that was a good 130-pounder, 135-pounder, and not so good like an average 147-pounder. That power didn't show up that division.
Hey, y'all heard D-Style in the chat. Let's get this up to 30 likes. And if you haven't subbed, now is the perfect time to hit the sub button. I appreciate it. We got a call from the 510, from the 5 and Dime. They are on the phone. Hey, what's going on? You're on the Shoe Shine.
Hey, Drew. Hey, Dave, Fernando. How you guys doing?
Hey, what's up, Vato?
What's up, homie? Hey, I was in your hood a couple weeks ago for the Boulevard Nights, man. That was pretty dope.
Oh, shit. Where was I, man? You should have sent me a DM. You know I would have wanted to check that out, man. Next time you're down here, let me know.
No, it was dope. It was dope. Dude, it was dope, man.
I bet it was. I missed out.
Bay, homie, for life.
I missed out. What's on your mind tonight?
Like, since you got talking about Broner, we can talk about that.
Yeah.
To be honest, it was like the third box. It was the third boxing card this weekend, right? Like, I really wasn't excited about it anyways, man. I kind of, like, to agree with Drew a little bit, I'm kind of disappointed with boxing right now because we've had a lot of tune-up fights right now, man. Like, this is like the third one, right? This is going to be the third one. We had Danny Garcia a few weeks ago. Then we had Teofimo. And then we're going to have this weekend a Broner one, you know?
Right.
Like, that's not good for boxing, man. You know, I was more excited for the Usyk AJ fight this weekend, man. You know, that's a legitimate fight.
Yeah, and it's going to be, I believe it's going to start at 12 o'clock East Coast time. Do you know what time it starts, Drew? I think maybe on the West Coast for us, it'll be a daytime fight. And I'm happy to announce that if you have the DAZN app, you're going to get to watch that free because it just got announced. Like, I was literally asking everybody, hey, well, who's going to show the fight? So it turns out it'll be on DAZN. I agree with you. The Showtime fight is kind of fluff. And now, you know, it'll probably be the third fight I watch. I'm probably DVR it. But Sergey Lipinets, Figueroa, I mean, you're right. It's not a main event caliber fight. And I do want to remind you guys, and I'll talk about it later, but ESPN is showing a star-studded Mexican fight from San Diego. Of course, Navarrete is going to be fighting, as well as El Venado Lopez on the undercard of that ESPN card. I think that's going to be the one to watch Saturday night, man. Do you have any thoughts on Teofimo Lopez's performance, bro?
Teofimo Lopez, you know, I think I'm so excited about Teofimo, right? I think his dad kind of gets in the way for Teofimo.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm still excited about him. I think he's still going to be a star in boxing, man. He's the kind of guy, you know, he's a normal human being that's not perfect. His dad, you know, like a lot of Latino men, their dads, you know, or younger Latino men,
mm-hmm.
their dad kind of, you know, runs heavy in their family, man. You know,
mm-hmm.
and it just is what it is, man. But I think he's good for boxing. I'm excited to see him maybe in December again. That's another thing too, right? With all these tune-up fights, right? The difference between like Top Rank and Showtime is that they'll have like a tune-up fight on PBC, but you won't see that guy till like a year later, you know. Whereas Teofimo, he's coming back in December, hopefully, you know.
Yeah, and I think he really needs it.
I don't mind. Exactly, man. And I think we will see Teofimo versus Ryan sometime, maybe in the springtime next year. I think Taylor and Catterall have their fight. I think Taylor's gonna be moving up after that fight, and then you have Cepeda versus Prograis. I think the winner of that's gonna fight Ramirez. So I think if Teofimo wants a big fight early next year, it's gonna have to be against Ryan. Maybe for a vacant belt, maybe one of the ones that Josh or Catterall drop off with. You know, I think Josh has already lost 2 belts already in the last few months. So I think there is a path for a vacant belt title fight in the springtime between Ryan and Teofimo. I think that's a great fight. I'd go to that fight, to be honest. I think that's a big fight, man.
Yeah, I do. I agree with you that it is a big fight. You know, there's something interesting. Oh, Drew, I just want to point out, I'll let you, sorry to interrupt, but to everyone who's about the Showtime fight, there's something really interesting. One of those vacated belts is up for grabs this Saturday, and it's kind of going under the radar as the co-main event. Akhmedov, that fought Mario Barrios, who has one loss, is going to fight for that vacated WBA 140-pound strap. This is a guy, you know, Akhmedov, who lost a close decision to Barrios. That I think Barrios was gifted that decision under the Spence pay-per-view fight. I think this is a fight Teofimo Lopez, if he gets Akhmedov, could potentially, that's his path to a world championship very quickly. Yeah, I'm presuming Akhmedov wins this belt, but this is the caliber opponent that Teofimo can be in my book. And I don't know if he's signed exclusively to PBC. Just because you fight on PBC doesn't mean you have a contract with them. But that is a path, man. That's the first vacated belt. It's up for grabs this weekend, guys. Sorry about that, Drew. Go ahead.
Nando, do you think if the fight was ever to happen this weekend, Omar Figueroa beats Adrian Broner?
Nando, what you think?
I think Broner could have got the decision. I've never really been all that impressed with Omar Figueroa. I think he's a solid tough fighter, but I think Broner was going to maybe win by a split decision or do enough just to win, you know. And he had the politics on his side also, you know. So I will pick Broner this weekend. I just think Broner no longer wants to. I mean, I hate to talk bad about the PBC this much, but a lot of these guys over there are entitled, man. They really only want to fight once a year. Like, let's say Broner would have won this weekend. Do you think we would have seen Broner again? We would have seen Broner again next year. Maybe another fight.
he's
like,
you know, it's perfectly content.
It's a big scam.
Like, one of the big issues with PBC with fighters fighting once a year, they have a budget. And, like, right now, we're only, like, Showtime airing their fights now. Fox don't really do it that much anymore. The PBC needs more than Showtime to air their fights. They need, like, a TV channel, a cable channel like ESPN or something to air their fights on, too. I thought the Fox Sports was a good idea for them. But, like, since you only have Showtime now, it gives you a limited budget. And as I said earlier, as I said a while ago, they have too many guaranteed contracts, too. So wherever fight cards you make up, you're going to wind up probably losing money, most likely, on your cards because of the fighters that you're having fight on those cards.
Absolutely.
I personally think PBC's in a bit of trouble, man. That's the main reason they're not making Buzz Spence right away. It's the money. They don't have it, right? Like, the reason they lost that Fox contract is because they lost money on most of those pay-per-views they did with Fox. They lost money. Fox was getting good TV ratings with them, so why did Fox drop them? Because of the money. They lost money on them, you know? And PBC, they burnt a lot of bridges, man. They burnt the bridge with HBO. Then they burnt the bridge with NBC. Then they burnt the bridge with CBS. And now they burnt the bridge with Fox. Where are they going to go to next, you know? And like you said, Drew, Showtime has never had a huge budget going back to the early 2000s, you know? They've always had the smaller budget and done a good job with it. But regardless, they've always had a small budget. And to be honest, I think it's all on Espinoza right now, man. That guy, he should know that he has some leverage over PBC. He should be demanding some better fights on regular Showtime, you know? Like, for instance, that Wilder versus Hellenius fight. How is that pay-per-view? That's ridiculous, dude. How is that pay-per-view? How is the Andy Ruiz fight versus Ortiz a pay-per-view? It's embarrassing, man. It's bad for the sport, man. It's bad for the sport.
It's like this the last time.
Especially when we're getting a good fight this weekend for free. When we're getting a good fight on DAZN this weekend for free, basically with your subscription.
It's like the last time PBC Showtime's actually been relevant in boxing hasn't been losing money is when Golden Boy fighters were fighting on the label. When Richard Schaefer was having his fighters when he was the CEO of Golden Boy on there, when Bernard Hopkins, Danny Garcia was in the first of his prime, like Canelo was fighting on Showtime, it was good ass cards on there. You even had they were making money. Like you had Tavares Cloud.
Yep.
Yeah, Bernard Hopkins is wise at light heavyweight. Let's just say a little bit. But if you look at this, you're getting a unification heavyweight championship between probably 1 and 2 now in the heavyweight division if Fury is truly retired, and the Ring magazine is up for grabs now. So whoever wins that is linear heavyweight champion, and it's not on pay-per-view. When you got Luis Ortiz and Andy Ruiz, 2 guys that they're not even in the top 5, barely cracked top 10 in my opinion now, at heavyweight fighting on pay-per-view, and Deontay Wilder versus Robert Hellenius, his 2 coming off 2 big wins, not just consider it big wins against Adam Kanaki, maybe so. There was reviving his career a little bit because no one really thought of Helenius as much anymore when he was on his rise during the Klitschko era and everything. But is it a good fight? I think so.
It's a nice little tune-up, in my opinion.
It's a nice little tune-up. It's a name and everything. He's a top 15 heavyweight. But
I'm happy you segued into this, Drew, because
it's a good fight.
It's not a bad fight, guys. And there's a lot of news in the heavyweight division. A lot of people that watch boxing only wait around till you tell them, hey, the heavyweights are fighting. And there's some big news. And that's the fact that Tyson Fury announced again, I don't know how many times he's retired, but, he's announcing his retirement again, and he's vacating the belts. And a massive thanks to everyone who has an input in my career over the years. And after a long, hard conversation, I finally decided to walk away on my 34th birthday. I say bon voyage. All right, Drew, you just mentioned it, that this Saturday, now all of a sudden, the Ring Magazine heavyweight title, it's not a real belt, but it's, what is it considered, like the lineal? Is that what it is?
It considers you the literal heavyweight champion of the division.
It's up for grabs now. So not only does Usyk have 3 belts, but Anthony Joshua is going to have Robert Garcia, the best his win record is superb, Drew. He hired him and brought him over to the UK. Robert Garcia left everyone behind to his brother to handle, and he moved to the UK exclusively for this camp. Can he teach an old dog like Joshua new tricks? Or will Joshua just revert to his old bad habits and his old instincts? I think it's the latter. I think this Saturday night, we're not going to see much different. We might see some improvement on the first 6 rounds, and that's what's going to make this fight so exciting. But I'm just going to go out and say it right now, Drew. My pick is going to end much the same way, Usyk by a decision, but it's going to be the best fight Saturday night. And I don't know if it's good enough. Should we bother with the 3-peat? Or will this be one of these 2 heavyweight fighters that we're going to want to see a rematch? A third one?
Tell you the truth, this is going to be like Robert Garcia. The best he's going to be able to do is teach him how to hide his right jab more. Teach him how to use it more. That's all.
Joe Lopez 40 ounce just said Robert Garcia has lost a lot of big fights.
Yeah, and tell you the truth, I really see Usyk is bulked up a little more in muscle and everything. And tell you the truth, is going to be in deep waters. Anthony Joshua is going to gas out. And I really think Usyk stops him in the 10th round.
You think it's going to be by stoppage? Nando, I'm going to guess that that they brought on Robert Garcia to get the dog out of Joshua, right? There was a lot of complaints that Joshua is a guy who can knock people out and that he doesn't go for it early on when he's got the most amount of steam. Is he going to basically exert all that energy in the first 6 rounds and gas himself out, trying to knock out Usyk?
You know what I think is going to happen? Usyk, right, little by little, he built himself a heavyweight, right? The Witherspoon fight, he looked like crap. The fight against the Joshua, the first one, he was kind of tentative. He was careful. He outboxed him, and he won by decision. I think this is going to be a little bit reminiscent of Canelo versus Triple G number 2, right? In the first one, Canelo was tentative, carefully outboxing him. But when he felt his power, he no longer was scared of Triple G's power. What did he do in the second fight? He stepped on the gas and backed him down. I think that's exactly what Usyk is going to do. I think he's going to start and go for the knockout early in the fight. I think that's exactly what Usyk is looking for. And I think it's going to make for a great fight. I don't think this fight goes past 6 rounds. I don't know who's going to win because AJ is more than capable of knocking out anybody. But I think this fight doesn't go more than 6 rounds. I think it's going to be a firefight for the first 6 rounds. That's what I anticipate.
Yeah, if you guys have an alternative way to watch the zone, if you've got one of those, what do you call it? Fire sticks? You guys got to watch this fight. Whoever you are, if you're just a casual fan tuning in, find a way to watch this fight on Saturday afternoon because it should be a great matchup. Yeah, Drew.
I look at it like this. Like when the first fight, when Joshua became aggressive, it actually hurt him more. It almost got him knocked out. So you want him to be more aggressive, you're just going to get him knocked out early. It's just how it is. Usyk's going to use that aggression against him and knock him out with it. I think, I'm telling you this right now, Anthony Joshua's career is going to end this Saturday because he's going to get stopped by Usyk and lose again to Usyk, a guy that came up from cruiserweight. and he will be holding 4 belts by the end of the night, and he will soon be undisputed heavyweight champion if Tyson Fury retires, which is most likely the case.
Did he duck? Was this a duck though? I need to know. What do you guys think?
A duck? Like for who? For who, Dave?
Did Tyson Fury, is he just avoiding fighting Anthony Joshua, the second biggest star in UK boxing? Or maybe he's the biggest star in UK boxing. Is he avoiding fighting Anthony Joshua? Is he avoiding fighting Usyk?
Not, Dave. Absolutely not, Dave. I guarantee you, Tyson, $100, whatever you want to bet, that Tyson Fury will fight the winner sometime next year. Tyson Fury has too much pride
to stay retired.
Anybody to talk shit about him that he's not going to fight. That he's afraid of either guy.
Yeah,
he's not going to allow it. It's not going to happen. Tyson Fury has that big dog mentality, and he will fight the winner eventually.
So the retirement is a cap.
I guarantee it.
The retirement is all cap.
100%.
I look at it like this.
100%.
I think Fury beats both of them, but if he doesn't come back and fight, Usyk's going to be the very first fighter in history to become undisputed in 2 different weight classes.
You know, that's really interesting.
Amazing.
That is really interesting.
I caught it.
But
I called this a year ago before he moved up to heavyweight that he was going to at least hold one of those belts when he moved up, and he was going to beat Anthony Joshua for it. And what happened? He holds a belt. He holds at least one belt, and he beat Anthony Joshua for him.
You know, I've seen Tyson Fury balloon up in weight in his prior retirements. We've seen him balloon up to Lord knows how much, 350 pounds, close to 400, and come all the way back down, get in shape, and win the championships again. So I'm not convinced that his retirement is serious at all, man. I think this is a guy that enjoys long layoffs with his family. He's got a beautiful family. He enjoys coming and living here in Las Vegas. I think he even bought a home. If he's allowed to come here now, I'm not sure, man. But I think he just enjoys long layoffs, and it's good for him, and it's good for his mental health to take these long layoffs because he's that confident that he can get back in shape and compete at the highest levels. So I'm with you, Nando. I think this is all cap. He's going to sit back and take a year off. He'll give away those belts and come back to the sport, take a tune-up, and get right back in the mix.
Well, you got to look at it.
Man. And I'm excited. And here's the thing about the zone, right? I bought that Fury versus White fight. That cost me $75, man. And that undercard was crap. This weekend, I'm getting this fight with my DAZN subscription. And the undercard is actually pretty good, man. There's a lot of good fights on there. There's a Badu Jack. We got that heavyweight fight looks pretty good. The Herkovich fight. And I can't remember what the fourth fight is, but there's some good fights on the undercard too, man. So it's gonna be an entertaining weekend for boxing.
Yep.
And I'm excited for the weekend, man.
Yeah.
Hey, both you guys, man. Thank you for taking my phone
man,
call.
I appreciate it. Always, Nando. Great call, Nando. So we get ready to wrap up the show, Drew. Yeah.
I think Horgogatev is going to knock out Zhang inside 5 rounds.
You're right about that fight. That is a very interesting because I can't even pronounce either of these guys' names, man. That Hervokovic, how do I say that? That guy's someone to watch for. That is a guy to watch out for. Yeah, and the Zhang is an impressive physical specimen. The guy's a massive beast. But anyways, if you got ESPN Plus, the app, and I'm not sure 100% if it's on regular ESPN, but from San Diego's turning into a great fight town. Our boy Sonteo Medios from there. You can watch El Vaquero, El Navarrete, 126-pound champion from Top Rank. This is one of my favorite divisions, the featherweight champion. This is a really amazing landscape right now, Drew, because we have this El Venado Lopez who's on the co-main. He's already going to get this fight with Josh Warrington, and he's performing on the undercard this Saturday. You get to see why he earned a fight against Josh Warrington, a UK 126-pound champ. Then we have the news recent that Leo Santa Cruz is going to have to defend his title against Leigh Woods, right? Leigh Woods. That's going to be another great Mexico versus UK fight. Navarrete fighting a guy named, I had to look this guy up, Drew. For real.
Make sure you say it right this time.
Eduardo Baez. Eduardo Baez from Mexico as well. He's 21-2 with barely any knockouts. His best performance, Drew, was a loss against Rais Alim, 122. He's a guy who's almost like on Fulton's level. He hasn't won a world championship, but a spectacular 122-pound fighter. He's gone the distance with Rais Alim. But you know what? He doesn't have enough power to keep Navarrete off of him on Saturday night, and I expect Navarrete to come out with a spectacular knockout. Teofimo Lopez is on there. It's just a great division that should be getting, in my eyes, they really should be trying to unify these titles, man. You know, other divisions are unifying the titles, and this one, I really want to see them face each other. Really exciting division, the featherweight division. Man, Drew. Let me run this forever who's still here in the shoe shine. Thanks a lot, Drew. I did it again. I got the knockout of the week, and it did not come from the sport of boxing. So here it is. I scour the internet for the knockout of the week, so you don't have to. There it is. Oh, man. Trying to knock out your homie, and you knock yourself out. Yeah, the knockout of the week. All right, man. It was a great a time I had with everyone here, and I do appreciate all our new subscribers. Please help get the word out. I'm dying to hit 500 subs by the end of the summer. Drew, I hope you had a great weekend at the shore. We barely heard anything about it.
I'm not gonna say nothing on the show.
Nah. They can hit up at Drew Evo if you guys want to know about his exciting weekend on the Jersey Shore. Any final thoughts on this weekend of boxing, Drew, and this coming up weekend?
People get into their feelings, people gotta hype themselves up.
People getting into their feelings.
Hyping themselves up in chat and realizing Drew ain't paying them no fucking mind.
Is that what's going on? I don't even pay attention, man.
But, and that's good you don't pay attention because you don't give a fuck about them in their feelings either. That's good, Dave.
Nah, man.
But at the end of the day, I'm looking forward to the Joshua Usyk rematch, man.
Of course. Especially with the news that Tyson Fury's vacating his belts. We're going to have a new lineal champ. It's going to be fun. And let's
got to the 26. He's got to the 26.
Deontay Wilder is back. I'm excited about that. If you guys don't remember, check out one of our shows. I put DMT to the rescue for Deontay Wilder. He, after that loss to Fury, he said that he needed a spiritual awakening, a journey, and he was seeking to do a DMT ayahuasca experience so he can get the answers he needed in his life. And I've yet to try it, and I know I was blabbing on that show, and Chicano Prophet says he's going to help me out get that experience. I'm still waiting, Chicano. I need my DMT experience. I need some self-enlightenment to get to the next.
I think a lot of people need that shit.
I need to get to the next level. I need to take this show to the next level. I need to figure out what's on the next level, too. But for next week, we will see you guys next Monday night, like we always do on the Shoe Shine. Sending love to everybody. Thank you, everyone who joined us, and we will see you guys next week. Peace out.